Hello, and welcome to the Your Food Matters podcast. I'm Dr. Sue Kleiner, and I'm here with my wonderful friend and colleague, Erik Bustillo.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Sue. How we doing today?
Oh, we are doing so well today. Erik, you and I are prepping for the Super Bowl, so we want to share that today. Hey, all you out there, if you wouldn't mind, please like us, hit that subscribe button. We are on all the podcast platforms, and you can see us as well as listen to us on the Move Nutrition Network YouTube channel. So, as I said, today we are going to go on a roll. Recipes, websites, our favorites, what we love to do and don't do on Super Bowl Sunday when it comes to food. Erik, take us off.
Yeah, I feel like the Super Bowl is it's always fun to talk about because it's like this one day out of the year that everyone, either becomes a football fan or just kind of like, I'm just going for the Super Bowl party for the food. I'm just going for the halftime show for the commercials. Um, and I think that what we're going to talk about today, I think it's just going to be good advice or suggestions for people in general. Because even though it is meant for the Super Bowl, like these things apply to parties and celebrations because people get so nervous and almost like feelings of anxiousness if they're trying to be mindful of their nutrition and their health, that they feel like the Super Bowl is going to completely ruin that. But I think we're here to say it's okay. We can approach this with a mindset of I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm also in control.
And if you choose to just sort of be in the moment and celebrate the day and the time with friends, family, colleagues, uh, brothers and sisters, whoever you may be with, and just not worry about what you're eating, go for it. It's there's nothing wrong with that. It's remembering that you're making a conscious choice to just eat whatever you want, and that doesn't preclude you from being on your program or on your plan when the Super Bowl's over. So, in fact, what happens is being off your plan is part of your plan. So no need to feel like a failure or a loser because you indulged in a way that you don't think is what you're supposed to be doing. God, this language is so hard, really, for us because I just I don't have judgment around it. My only advice is always be conscious of the choice that you're making. That's all.
Yeah. The if we can practice more mindfulness around the things that we're doing, and mindfulness goes across the board. It doesn't mean like, oh yeah, I'm being mindful of the fact that I'm about to eat pizza rolls, right? Like it's just okay. I'm gonna eat pizza rolls. That's perfectly fine. It's okay if you have those. I'm also going to make this decision to maybe limit how many pizza rolls I consume. Instead of just sitting there and eating it mindlessly, I'm going to give myself permission to eat 3 pizza rolls and then sticking to that plan. But now it's also okay, and I want people to understand this, the don't be so hard on yourself, because if you do approach
Hmm.
it with this, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy it, I'm not going to count pizza rolls, then by all means enjoy it. Just also understand there might be some, in air quotes, consequences to pay, because maybe we overdo it. And then a couple hours later, maybe we feel a little bit sick to our stomach because we had too much in a small period of time. We weren't being mindful of how much we consumed. So it's like, this is a part, I love how you mentioned basically it's I like calling it a planned indulgence, right? Um,
Right.
so that, and it fits into our 80-20 rule, which I'm a huge advocate of. 80% of the time, do what is best and optimal for your health, for your performance, for your desired outcomes and goals. 20% of the time is planned indulgence is some things are going to be out of my control, so I can still practice mindfulness
Right.
with that, but it's out of my control, but I can still choose to pick things that I find are more nutritious at whatever fast food place. You don't have to
Hmm.
get the Big Mac or the Whopper with the fries and the soda. There are other options that we can make around that. So that 80-20 rule applies. And I think it's okay for us to apply that in the Super Bowl too, because hey, we have to be able to enjoy it and take responsibility for what we're doing?
And being from Seattle, I'm hoping that the Chiefs are the 80 and the and the 49ers are the 20.
I kind of want both of them to lose because my Dolphins aren't in there. So,
So, I'm gonna lead off with what are the recipes and websites that I love for Super Bowl Sunday. And I am a chili fan. I have to admit, when I'm having a crowd, I think it's such a great thing for the person who's doing the cooking. It's just a you can make one big pot and everybody is eating instead of a whole bunch of little things. That's just my style. And I'll tell you what recipe I actually like.
oh
And
please.
it will tell you what one of my go-to websites is. It is white chili chicken from the New York Times cooking app. Now that is a subscription app, um, so I do pay for it because it's worth it for me. It's such a great, huge number of recipes that I know are tested, and that's a big deal on recipe websites. There's a whole lot of untested recipes out there, and you make it and you go, well, that didn't work. What did I do wrong? And I got to tell you, as someone who's has been a recipe developer over my career, I can see when recipes are not tested because they obviously are not going to work. So
Mhm.
this is this white chicken chili, and you have a choice. You go, oh my God, well, first you have to cook the chicken. Well, no, you can use rotisserie chicken if you want to skip one big time consuming step, although roasting a chicken is about the and is an amazingly easy thing to do. And if you've never made it, I can tell you who has a great recipe for you. And it's Alice Waters, also one of my favorite chefs. And she has a great cookbook called The Art of Simple Food. So right up my alley. And uh, and you make her roast chicken, and basically you prep the chicken, you stick it in the oven, you flip it over every 15 to 20 minutes, and in an hour to maybe an hour and 15 minutes, because you always want to check the internal temperature, so depending on the size of the chicken and whether it was at room temperature when you put it in, which ideally it was, you have a roast chicken that is delicious, juicy, gorgeous, perfect skin, all the things that you want in a roast chicken. When you make the white chili, of course, you remove the skin and you chop it up, you throw it all together. But as I said, you want to skip that step, you can use rotisserie chicken. So pretty easy stuff.
Yeah, I love that it's easy because that's just like for me simplicity. You know what I mean? If we can keep it simple, then it's better. At least that's like how my brain kind of functions with it.
And if you look at this, a lot of chili recipes have a long list of ingredients, but so many of the ingredients are spices. But by the time you list them all, it looks like a long list. But this is really, I mean, it's delicious. Plus, it has beans, it has corn, and now you can use fresh corn and cut it off the cob, or I use frozen, they say, or you can use canned. I prefer frozen, and it's just so easy. It's all done for you. I do use canned cannellini beans in here. You can cook up your own if you want. But like I said, this for chili, I think this is a fabulous recipe. And it really kind of, it threads the needle between those people who don't want to be eating red meat, but it is chicken, so it's not vegan. Certainly, there are lots of fabulous vegan bean chili recipes out there. Now, I have to say, if you've listened to our podcasts, you know that when I eat beans, I use Beano. And so we do put it out along with the chili for everyone. So we can all enjoy the entire length of the game and go home and enjoy the evening afterwards, too.
For sure. And also, we're not sponsored by Beano, but if anyone listening out there knows someone, let me know. One thing that I do love about chili, and again, not going the vegan or vegetarian route, is when there is some like ground beef or ground turkey in the chili. That's just like a personal preference of mine. The taste of that and the beans in there. I'm not a fan of it of too spicy, so I like it a little on the mild side. But I love the combination of textures and flavors. It's just so good. Like how can people not just enjoy these things, especially like on a Super Bowl Sunday?
Honestly. So, if you're thinking about, well, what websites can I go to that are not subscription based, that I don't have to pay for? Um, it's hard to match New York Times, I have to admit, as far as I'm a loyal I'm a loyal customer of the New York Times cooking site, but um, for baking and other really good recipes, I use the King Arthur Baking Company website. If you're a baker or looking for sweets and snacks and breads and anything like that, anything that uses flour, basically, it's a free website. Those are also really well tested recipes, and they are spectacular. And I have a couple of favorites from that website. So, probably one of my favorites that is an all timer that definitely goes out on the table at most holiday gatherings is their microwave peanut brittle. So you don't have to use peanuts; you can use any nuts. Um, I do enjoy peanuts, and it's an easy, super easy microwavable recipe that doesn't stick to the pan. So that's usually the reason why most people stopped making their own uh, brittle, and you just it's so easy. You break it up, and it's a fun, sweet with healthy nuts um, serving. And then the other thing from King Arthur that is a favorite in my family are morning glory muffins, um, and and I enjoy those. They're really easy. You can swap things out if in and out of inclusions that you want, but there's and they it just goes on and on. It's really worth looking at the King Arthur website for solid tested recipes. And then my last one is the Williams Sonoma website. That one is also free. Those are also fabulously tested recipes. And another sweet, nutritious uh, recipe is our stuffed dates. So, warm
Mm.
dates with Parmesan and walnuts and olive oil. And I can't tell you, it takes like 10 minutes to prep, 10 minutes to cook, and people go wild. It's like ambrosia. They just you put date something sweet and salty together, and it's always a wildly popular combination. And this is, oh my god, delicious. So um, the Parmesan cheese stuffed in with walnuts into a date, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's it's making me very hungry right now, and it makes me it makes me think. I mean, I'm probably always hungry, but it makes me think of the a combination that I really enjoy, and I wish we would see it at more Super Bowl parties. Um, but it's the goat cheese and fig combination with
Oh
maybe a
yeah.
cracker or something like that. It's delicious. That sweet and salty. Yeah, what a combination. And then if you have like bacon wrapped dates, I'm also a huge fan of those.
Oh
Mm,
yeah.
bacon wrapped anything. Mm.
So these are, you can find recipes for hummus. You can pick up hummus and have, cut up vegetables with it, or pita chips. I mean, there's the obvious sort of, we think about healthier options because they're not just heavy on calories, they're also deep in nutrition because it's made from beans, right? So that's a those are always the sort of the standard options that you're going to see everywhere. What we wanted to talk about today was things that might be just a little more fun, a little, off the beaten track. And the last thing that I've got on here just for everybody are the new non-alcoholic beverages, mocktails. Um, for an old term that's new again. And I have a local grocery here that has a website that has a bunch of recipes. It's Metropolitan Market. They're online. You can find them. And I've made this one. Let me find it here in my scattered list of recipes. What's it called? Well, anyway, it's a pear. There it is. Perfect. That's what I was trying to remember. It has a funny name. The
Clever.
Perfect Mocktail, zero alcohol. I have to tell you, this is delicious. Now, you do have to hunt down some of the ingredients, especially the seed lip. Um, so there's in all of these, a lot of these non-alcoholic beverage recipes that are sort of mocktails, that make you think of you're having some kind of very special cocktail, just minus the alcohol. There are these specialized ingredients where they they are sort of spiced liqueurs without the alcohol in a way. And so this brand Seedlip, there's other brands out there doing a really nice job of coming up with flavors that you're adding, um, that really enhance the beverage. You don't always have to have those, but this recipe does, and I think it makes a difference to find it. I actually had to The grocery store carries it. Sometimes a wine and beverage shop carries them as well, but I got it at my local grocery store. So um, I think it was at Safeway. So anyway, and it's just as expensive as buying alcohol. So there's no sliding by.
You're spending money regardless.
But this was so much fun, this recipe, and people just have a ball with it. And so I think you can have all the fun and enjoyment without the alcohol if you choose to.
Most definitely, yeah. I'm glad that you said that because there are so many options. You have the non-alcoholic beverages, the de-alcoholized wine, and then of course there are those just mocktails that you can create. You can make a virgin mojito or a virgin pina
Right.
colada. Those things. There's just keeping the traditional ones, but just without the alcohol, just to enjoy something in that social setting. Um, and I like that you gave some different tips because my tips that I'm gonna keep it to like under a minute because I it's just they're quick reminders for people more than anything. Like it's okay to go the traditional route. Personally, hummus and pita chips, one of my favorite things to grab and take, or if you want to make it, then
Right.
wonderful. But I also want folks to remember, or at least know this, not that you need my permission to do it, but if you do, I'm giving you that permission. Is it's it's okay to eat some of the classics, if you will. And me being a protein pusher, I'm a fan of like the boneless chicken tenders, or even like chicken wings, or the popcorn chicken, shrimp, the shrimp cocktail. I
Oh
love going
yeah.
for those. And then, of course, something that I think is very Super Bowl Sunday y is meatballs.
Mhm.
So these are things that it's yeah, they're protein focused, and don't get me wrong, some of these are going to be maybe a little bit higher in fat content, but I like to focus on protein wherever I can, while enjoying the things that I enjoy. And if I can get some veggies from the veggie platter, that's never a bad idea. Like grab some carrots, grab some broccoli if you enjoy it that way. I also like to bring fruits. I like the mixed fruit bowls that you can find. So it's going to be a mix of berries, pineapples, watermelon, all of those things. I mean, I like to take things that I'm going to eat. So
Right, for
if,
sure.
if worst case scenario, I eat what I brought, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
That's awesome. The other thing that I learned many years ago was if you put nuts out, I mean that's like chips, it's like you almost can never stop. And that adds up really fast. But if you have to take the shell off, it slows you down. So I do love peanuts in the shell, and just know you're going to sweep up and vacuum later. It's just the way it goes because stuff is going to fly.
For
Or
sure.
pistachios in the shell, right? Or
Mm.
any kind of nuts with a nutcracker, right? I mean, it's so much fun to have that. And if you have fun different nutcrackers that you've got either from Christmas time or just I have collected them over the years, family kind of heirloom nutcrackers. So putting out all the different nuts in the shell, walnuts, almonds, it is really fun to go through that. And let me tell you, it definitely minimizes the number of nuts that you eat.
Most definitely. They're just so easy to eat mindlessly, right? Just kind of
Right.
going full circle back to the being mindful of what we're consuming, how much of it, but also being mindful of the fact that we should enjoy what we're doing. And I think my biggest takeaway for the folks listening is to enjoy yourself within reason. Like we have to take responsibility for the things that we do. And at the same time, we should be able to live and enjoy life, at the fullest, but we don't have to be foolish about it, right?
Right. Hallelujah. Well, I think that we've covered, we wanted it to be a quick but really good review of how to prep for Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you all have gotten something out of this. I always love to hear Erik's advice. It's always a good reminder for me and gives me great ideas.
And likewise, because you say some things sometimes that I'm just like, I've never thought about that. I didn't know about this resource. So, yeah, it's mutual.
So enjoy it whether you're prepping for the game at home or you're going to be with someone. And if you hate football and you don't watch the NFL, um, I hope you enjoy your Sunday. You can still enjoy some cooking and some good eating. Just before I'll be off at a piano lesson, so we all have. I'll do early prep, go to my piano lesson, and then enjoy the game. So, everyone, have a great week. And if you can remember to share us with your friends and colleagues, Your Food Matters podcast, and we'll be tuning in again soon. Take care. Bye, Erik.
All right, everybody. Bye, Sue.